Use the information below to answer questions 1 and 2. As some students are planting flowers, they notice several earthworms in the soil. One student wonders if earthworms are beneficial to the growth of plants. The students decide to test this by performing an investigation. The student plants identical flowering plants in two containers with potting soil. The treatment for the plants is the same except that six earthworms are added to one container. Figure 1 shows the plants after 65 days of growth. The plant in the pot with earthworms appears to be healthier. Here we can see in the picture as well. The student describes it as having larger leaves, a thicker stem, a more upright stem, more root hairs, and longer roots than the plant in the container without the earthworms. Question number 1. Based on the investigation, the student group decides to add a large number of earthworms to their flower garden. Which statement best explains whether these data are being applied correctly? Option A. The garden is a less stable system and the results can be easily replicated. Option B. The garden is a more stable system and the results cannot be easily replicated. Option C. The variables are similar and you can expect the same results in the potted plant and the flower garden without collecting more data. Option D. The variables are different, so you cannot expect the same results in the potted plant and the flower garden without collecting more data. So when we are comparing potted plants and garden plants, several variables differ, like soil type. Potted plants we use often specialized potting mix, and in garden we may have a variety of soil types like clay, sandy, loamy, and watering can be the second variable. Potted plants require more frequent watering due to limited soil, and gardens can retain moisture better due to larger soil mass. Third variable can be space. Potted plant have limited root space, and gardens have ample space for roots to spread. Then temperature. Potted plants can experience more rapid temperature changes due to smaller soil volume, and gardens will have soil temperature more and in garden soil temperature changes more slowly. Then light, pests and diseases, air circulation, growth space. So there are many different variables. So the correct option should be option D. The variables are different, so you can not expect the same results in the potted plant and the flower garden without collecting more data. Question number 2. Based on the observations regarding matter and energy flow in the containers, the student describes the role of the earth form in the ecosystem created in the investigation. Which description best explains the role of earthworms in the ecosystem? Option A. Consumers, because they eat organisms that would compete with plants for beneficial nutrients. Option B. Producers, because they use energy from the sun to produce nutrients that are needed by plants. Option C. Decomposers, because they break down substances in the soil that provide nutrients for plants. So we will choose option C over here because the role of the earthworms created by the nature is that they are decomposers. They break down substances into soil that provide nutrients for plants, and plants grow much more healthier. So option C is the correct option here. Use the information below to answer question 3 through 7. Bat activity can be affected by artificial lighting because bats often rest during the day and hunt at night. They use their sense of hearing to help locate prey in the dark. A hunting bat emits high-pitched sound waves that reflect off insects. The external structure of the bat's ear, which is composed of cartilage, funnels, and reflected sound waves to the inner ear. The bat's brain then identifies the amount of time it takes for the reflected sound waves to reach the bat's ears. A group of researchers set up a study using white, green, and red lights in an otherwise dark natural habitat. The researchers measured the activity of two types of bats by recording the number of times a bat passed by. The researchers took measurements for 5 days in both early summer and late summer for 4 years. Their results are shown in the graph. Based on the information about bats, two students construct claims about the body systems a bat uses when it hunts. Student 1. A bat's nervous system tells the bat where its prey is located, then the bat muscular system allows the bat to fly and catch the prey. Student 2, a bat uses its respiratory system to produce sounds, then the bat's nervous system tells the bat where the prey is located. Question 3, which question can best be answered by analyzing the data in figure 1? Option A, why are bats not attracted by green light? B, can bats distinguish a green grasshopper from a red ant at night? C, are bats likely to be affected by green lights and red lights shining together? D, what color light should be used to observe bat activity without affecting their behavior? So here we can see different types of lights are used to check the effect of colored lights on bat activity. So that's the reason that option D should be the correct option. That what color light should be used to observe bat activity without affecting their behavior. Question number 4, the independent variable in this investigation is option A, type of bat, B, observed activity, C, color of light, D, none of these. So type of bat is same and the observed activity depend upon the color of lights, and color of lights are chosen by the investigator. So we can say the independent variable is color of light here. Question number 5, the investigation provided evidence that the bat's dash is reacting to a stimulus and affecting the behavior of the bats. Option A, muscular system, B, nervous system, C, circulatory system, and D, all of these. So the nervous system is our body's control center basically. It sends and receives messages to and from different body parts. It helps us to move, think, feel, and react to the world around us. And the brain and spinal cord are the main parts, and nerves spread out from them to the rest of the body. So we can say that the nervous system of the bats are reacting to the stimulus and affecting the behavior of the bats. Question number 6. Which statement best compares the claims of the two students? Option A, student 2's claim explains how ears send information to the brain, and student 1's claim explains how the brain sends messages to the muscles from immediate action. B, student 2's claim explains how the brain is not needed to process information, and student 1's claim explains how muscle memory is used to capture truth. C, student 1's claim explains how the brain stores memories, and student 2's claim explains how these memories are used to locate prey. D, student 1's claim explains how the brain reacts to sounds, and student 2's claim explains how these sounds are stored as memory. So here if we read the passage carefully, there is no mention of memories in the given information. So option C and D are incorrect. Now, in option B, student 2 claims explains how the brain is not needed to process information. So there is no such claim. So that's why option B is also incorrect. If we look at the claims of student 1 and 2, option A will be the correct option. That student 2 claim explain how ears send information to the brain, and student 1 claim explains how the brain sends messages to the muscles for immediate action. Question number 7. Which of the following is not an example of an irreversible change? Option A, a log of wood has been burned on the fire. Option B, a fruit smoothie has been frozen to make lollies. Option C, a mixture of flour, water, and yeast has been baked into bread. Option D, a bicycle left out in the rain begins to rust. So we have to choose a physical change basically. We know that in physical change, only the appearance of a substance changes and it is reversible. So out of all these given examples, option B is the only example of physical or reversible change. A fruit smoothie has been frozen to make lollies, and if we will melt the lollies, they will again become fruits. So option B is the correct option here. Question number 8. Which star is nearest to Earth? Pole star, Orion, Cassiopeia. So option D is Sun. According to literature, that Sun is also a star. So that is nearest to the Earth. So option D is the correct option here. Question number 9. If I am 13 years old, I have gone around the sun dash times? Option A, never gone round the sun. B, 13. C, 26. D, shall go round the sun when I shall be 15. So we know that one revolution of Earth around the sun makes 1 year. So if I'm 13 years old, in that time, Earth revolved around the sun 13 times. So option B is the correct option here. Question number 10. If Saturn is thrown into an ocean, option A, it will float. B, it will sink. C, it will dissolve. D, it will soak all water. So Saturn is a gas giant, meaning it is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium with a small rocky core. So the density of Saturn is less than that of water. To be specific, Saturn's average density is about 0.687 grams per cubic centimeters, while water's density is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So definitely it is lighter than the water. That's why it will float on the surface of the ocean. So option A is the correct option here. Question number 11. Where is the lightning rod attached to protect the building from lightning? Option A, on the top of the building. Option B, on the bottom of the building. Option C, in the middle of the building. Option D, anywhere. So the lightning rod are put at the top of the building because lightning usually strikes the highest point. So this helps protect the whole building. The rod gives the lightning a safe path to the ground, stopping it from causing damage. This keeps the building, electrical system and structure safe. Overall, it's safe to attach the lightning rod at the top of the building. So option A is the correct option here. Question number 12. Tsunami means option A, earthquake. B, floods. C, earthquake under the sea. D, eruption of volcano in the sea. So the correct answer is option C. Tsunami means earthquake under the sea. Question number 13. The type of pollution which is likely to affect Taj Mahal in Agra to a greater extent is air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution. Option D is noise pollution. So, if we talk about air pollution can damage buildings by causing surfaces to become dirty and discolored. And pollutants like acid rain can weaken the materials of the buildings like raw stones, metal, and paint. So we can say that the type of a pollution that can affect a building to a greater extent is air pollution. Because soil pollution, water pollution, and noise pollution will have not that much impact on the building's destruction. Question number 14. A brick is kept in three different ways on a table as shown in given figure. So we can see three positions over here. The pressure exerted by the brick on the table will be option A, maximum in position A, option B, maximum in position C, option C, maximum in position B, D, equal in all cases. So basically a brick standing on its smallest face exert maximum pressure on the table because pressure depends on the area in contact with the surface. Pressure is calculated by dividing the force, that is the weight of the brick by the area. So when the brick stands on its smallest face, like here the position A of the brick is representing, the contact area is the smallest, resulting in the highest pressure. So we will choose option A. Maximum is in position A. Use the information below to answer questions 15 and 16. Figure 1 shows embryo developed for 4 organisms. So we can see the figure 1 over here, which is related to embryo development. Question number 15. Which statement can best be spotted by figure 1? Option A, chickens are more closely related to tortoises than rabbits are. So we can see the embryo development of chickens that is relatively closer to tortoises as compared to rabbits, but still we will read the other options as well before confirming the answer. Option B is rabbits, chicken, tortoises, and fish are equally related to each other. That is not correct because definitely their embryo development procedure is different from each other. C. Fish do not share a common ancestor with other vertebrates. We cannot choose this answer because no such information is given to us. So, without any further information, we cannot confirm that. So, option D is fish and chickens are the least closely related. Their first stage is relatively similar, but the second and third stage is quite different. But here, the suitable option will be option A because the embryo development of chicken is quite closer to tortoises as compared to rabbits. So we will choose option A over here. Question number 16. Which question can best be answered by the data in figure 1? Option A. How long does it take different organisms to develop into adults? So if we look at the picture, no such timeline is given to us. So option A is not right. Option B. Do diverse organisms follow a similar progression of development? So if we look at the figure 1, we are observing the development progression of the four different types of animals or organisms. So option B can be our suitable question, but let's read option C and D as well. Option C, do modern organisms follow the same development progression as ancient organisms? One or in the question, so we cannot choose it. Option D is which characteristics at each developmental stage increase an organism's chance of survival? So no data is provided about the survival as well. So option B is the correct option over here. Question number 17. Some researchers are developing a new fertilizer designed to improve the growth of plants in hot, dry climates. The fertilizer was applied to 100 desert plants in a greenhouse. The average daytime temperature in the greenhouse was 90 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity levels were very low. Which is best for the researchers to do next? Option A, compare plants that received fertilizer to similar plants that received none. That can run a very good investigation. So option A can be our suitable option, but let's read the other options as well. Option B, begin selling the fertilizer to gardeners living in hot, dry climates. Obviously, it's not correct. C, change the conditions in the greenhouse and reset the fertilizer. D, test the fertilizer on plants that are adapted the cooler climates. So we will not do option C and D as well. Option A is the suitable research question that did not receive the fertilizer to improve the growth of the plants. Question number 18, a student wanted to identify a mineral based on the flow chart below. The mineral was yellow and odorless. The student scratched the mineral with a steel knife and a penny, but not with a fingernail. Based on this flow chart, which mineral could the student have been observing? So we can see the mineral flow chart. The options are sulfur, quartz, gold, and halite. So the first step is that is it yellow? So yes, mineral was of yellow color. So we will go straight towards yes. Then we have to check that does it have odor or is it odorless? So it has no odor. So we will go towards no. Then scratched by a steel knife. If it is yes, then we will move straight. Otherwise, we will go towards the right side. So yes, it is written over here that students scratched at the mineral with the steel knife and a penny. So we will go towards yes, then scratched by a penny, yes. So we will move towards the right side. So the mineral name is gold. So we will choose option C. Question number 19. A student filled the three identical cups with equal amount of water. The student placed each cup in a room with a different air temperature. After a few days, the student compared the amounts of water remaining in each cup. There are three beakers with different amounts of water and temperature. What cause and effect relationship does this investigation support? Option A, as evaporation decreases, air temperature decreases. Option B, as evaporation increases, air temperature increases. Option C, at higher air temperatures, more water evaporates. Option D, at higher air temperatures, less water evaporates. So here at high air temperatures, water evaporates faster because heat energy makes water molecules move quickly. These fast moving molecules break free from the surface of the water and turn into vapor. Warm air can hold more water vapors, helping evaporation happen more quickly. The process continues as long as there is heat and the air isn't already full of water vapor. So that's why we will choose option C over here. At higher air temperatures, more water evaporates. Question number 20. Some student investigated plant growth by growing two sets of the same type of plant. One set was grown indoors and the other set was grown outdoors. They recorded data in the table below. The student concluded that the plants grown indoor grew faster because they received better quality light than the plants grown outdoors, which is the most likely reason this conclusion may be flawed. Option A, the students measured the plants at different times. So no such information is given in the paragraph, so we cannot choose option A. Option B, the students should have grown different types of plants. If they will change the types of plants, then it will not be a fair test. So that's why we cannot choose option B. Option C, that growth of the plants in each set was affected by more than one factor. Option D, the outdoor plants grew faster than the indoor plants. So let's see option D first. In the chart, it's quite clear that the indoor plants grew very faster as compared to the outdoor plants. So that's why option D is also not correct. The only correct option is that growth of the plants in each set was affected by more than one factor. It's other than light. So that's why the indoor plants are growing faster because type of the plant is same, the same amount of light is given to both, but there are some other factors or variables which are affecting the growth of the indoor plants. Question number 21. Some information about the planets is given below, like approximate distance from the sun in millions of kilometers, mass of planet, number of observed moons. Which conclusion is best supported by the data in that table? So if we look at the table, the planets' names are Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Right now, Neptune is not part of the planets, but still we are going to follow the table. Option A, the farther the planets are from the sun, the more moons they have. So that is not correct because we can see that according to the table, Neptune is farthest from the sun, but still it has less number of moons as compared to Saturn and Jupiter. Option B, the mass of these farthest planets increases with their distance from the sun. That is also not right because mass of Saturn is less than Jupiter, although it is farther than Jupiter from the sun. Option C, the greater the mass of the planets, the more moons they have. So that is also not correct because we can see the mass of the Mars is zero point 0.1, which is less than Earth, but it has more number of moons as compared to Earth. Option D, the three planets with the smallest mass have the fewest number of moons. That is the correct option because we can see the Mercury, Earth, and Mars have less mass and they have less number of moons. Question number 22. A student is trying to determine if the composition of ice cubes affects the melting point, which will be the best investigation to use. Option A, freeze pure water in three identical ice cube trays and then place each tray on a table in different rooms. So option A is not correct because the variables can differ in different rooms. Option B, freeze pure water, sugar water, and salt water in three identical ice cube trays and then place the trays side by side on the same table. That can be our correct option because the student wanted to determine the melting point of the ice cube. So he can take three different types of water and keep them in the same condition. Option C, freeze pure water in three different sized ice cube trays and then place each tray on a different table in the same room. So again, if the size of the ice cube is different, then definitely its melting point will be different. Option D, freeze pure water, sugar water, and salt water in three different sized ice cube trays and then place the trays side by side on the same table. Again, two variables are changed over here, the type of water and the types of ice cubes. So that's why we can't choose option D as well. Option B is the correct option here. Question number 23, the location of Nashville, and Wilmington, NC are shown on the map. How does the climate of Wilmington most likely compare to the climate of Nashville? Option A, Wilmington has hotter summers because it is farther east. Option B, Nashville has more rain because it is farther west. C, Wilmington has milder winters because it is closer to the ocean. Option D, Nashville has the same climate because it has the same distance from the equator. So option C is our correct option because the areas closer to oceans have milder winters because the ocean winter retains heat and releases it slowly over time. This heat helps to keep the air temperature more consistent and prevent extreme cold. Additionally, ocean currents can bring warm water from other regions, further moderating the temperature. Question number 24. An animal called a sea anemone uses stinging cells to capture prey. Although this animal looks like a flower, it must get energy from which source? Option A, soil, B, sunlight, C, ocean water, option D, other organisms. As this animal hunts its prey, so definitely it gets energy from the other organisms. So option D is the correct option here. Question number 25. The picture shows airflow over a mountain. Which numbered region most likely has the highest summer temperatures? So, according to the picture, the areas which are away from the ocean, in those areas, the airflow tend to be hotter because they lack the moderating influence of ocean breezes, which can cool temperatures. So, as it is away from the ocean, so region 4 will have the highest summer temperatures. Question number 26. Different types of water pollution and their effects are described in the table below. Based on the table, which results from both phosphate and nitrate pollution and thermal pollution in water? Before reading the options, let's read the table. Description of water pollution. Type raw sewage. Effect illness such as typhoid and hepatitis can spread to humans. Phosphate and nitrate increase algae, then decaying algae uses up oxygen and water. Poison stored in the bodies of fish and builds up in organisms that eat fish. Oil becomes stuck on bird feathers. Thermal causes water to be less able to contain oxygen, causes bacteria to grow. So option A is diseases are carried out through the water. B, materials contaminate the bodies of birds. C, growth of algae rapidly increases. D, levels of oxygen in the water decrease. So here, if we look at the table, the phosphate and nitrate increases algae, then decaying algae uses up oxygen in water, which definitely decrease the amount of So, if we read the effect of phosphate and nitrate, these two things increase the amount of algae, then decaying algae uses up oxygen in water. So, definitely it reduces or decreases the levels of oxygen in water. So, that can be a disease for living beings. So, option D is the correct option. Question number 27. Umar went to a magic show. The magician rubbed a balloon on his hair and then held the balloon against a wall. When the magician released the balloon, Umar was amazed to see that it stuck to the wall. He wonders what factors affect how well balloons stick to different surfaces. So he decides to design an experiment. He has the following supplies available: the hair on his own head, a cotton blanket, a wooden door, 5 rubber balloons. Using only these supplies, which question can Umar investigate with an experiment? Option A. Do rubber balloons stick to a cotton blanket or a wooden door longer after being rubbed on his head? So option A can be our possible answer. Option B, do rubber balloons or foil balloons stick to the wooden door longer after being rubbed on his hair? So here there is no foil, so option B is not correct. Option C, do rubber balloons stick to a wooden door or a metal door longer after being rubbed on his hair? So there is no metal door in the list of variables, so option C is also not correct, and D is none of above. So here the only correct option is option A. Question number 28. Mercy wants to grow sunflowers in her backyard garden. She notices that some sunflowers grow much taller than others. She is curious about what factors affect how sunflowers grow. So she decides to design an experiment. She has the following supplies available: seeds from one type of sunflower, soil, one wooden planter box in the sun, one wooden planter box in the shade, one plastic planter box in the sun, and water. Using only these supplies, which question can Mercy investigate with an experiment? Option A. Do sunflowers grow taller if they are planted in planter boxes or in pots? So there are no pots in the given list of variables. So option A is not right. Option B, do sunflowers grow bigger in sunny planter boxes or in shady planter boxes? So we can see one wooden planter box in the sun and one in the shade. So option B will be our option, because the option C is which type of sunflower grows more leaves, and D is all of the above. So only correct option is option B. Question number 29. Natalie is sledding with her friends. She notices that some of them go faster down the sledding hill. She wonders what factors affect sledding speed. So she decides to design an experiment. She has the following supplies available: access to a small snow covered hill at the park, a small plastic sled, a large plastic sled, a rubber inner tube sled, a stopwatch. Using only these supplies, which question can Natalie investigate with an experiment? Option A. Does a rubber inner tube sled go faster down a small hill or down a big hill? There is only one type of hill, so that's why option A is not correct. Option B. Does a plastic sled or a wooden sled go down a hill faster? There is no wooden sled, so that's why option B is also not correct. C. Does a rubber inner tube sled or a plastic sled go faster down a hill? So option C will be the correct option, because we can see there is a small plastic sled, a large plastic sled, and a rubber inner tube sled. So she can compare these two, this option C. So she can test the question and given in option C. Question number 30. A tugboat tows ships out of a harbor. The tugboat starts pulling the ships when they are stopped at a dock. So masses of ships are given in the table. The ships have the same acceleration as they begin to move away from the dock. Order the names of the ships to show the size of the force the tugboat applies to each ship. So it's quite obvious that the heavy ships will take more force to pull. So we will see that which ship is heaviest of all. That is Margaret. Then after that, Premier. Then Gardenia will come, and at the end, Bright Star. So we will find out the sequence in the given option. That is option C. So we will